So let's hop into the objective. Now, I am always amazed when one of our dealerships come to me and say, hey, Jake, I bought some new software. Or, they say, I really want to buy this. Well, oftentimes they're being sold a bill of goods by a vendor, but we didn't think about something that I would always like us to think about when we're purchasing software. And it's a philosophical razor, a razor meaning that we're going to shave off some of the garbage right up front. And I asked the question, okay, what problem are you solving for? And what happens is we get stuff back that really doesn't make much sense when we break it down. And what I mean by that, we'll get the big three. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with this, sell more cars is what we hear a lot in this industry, but it applies to every industry, right? Yeah, you're going to sell more, you're going to get more gross, or you're going to reduce expenses. And this should be familiar to everybody as the road to profitability. Okay, and what vendors want to do is they want to jump right here. They want to go, oh, yeah, we're going to help you sell more. No, you're going to make more money per deal. No, we're going to reduce your expenses. Okay, let's break that down. Selling more is an inventory issue. It is an inventory issue. You either have to have enough inventory to sell, or your inventory has to be in enough demand to sell, which in my mind has very little to do with software. Okay, so, we learned a lot about this during COVID, very, very short supply on vehicles. That short supply drove up sales, but most importantly, it drove up grosses, right? The problem with grosses and software, again, is this is not a software issue. It is an inventory and demand issue. And right now, if we're looking to make more money per deal, well, the truth is probably most of that money is going towards our expenses, either covering the interest rates that we're dealing with right now or covering our internal expenses. Okay. And so we're just not getting more gross. In fact, in the car industry, we're certainly starting to see some shrinkage in those grosses. So software probably isn't going to be able to help us there. Well, how about reducing expenses? Well, that's problematic because if you're paying attention, you probably already did that. And you aren't going to buy more in software and spend less. That doesn't make any sense. And if you've been around for any number of years, right, you probably cut your expenses back in 2008 and you didn't increase it much since then. So, okay, so the road to profitability in my mind has nothing to do with software. So what does it have to do with? Well, let's start with this one. How about customer experience? So I think that's a reasonable problem to solve for. If our customers are having a better experience, whether it be on our websites, our applications, and they get through the road to the sale better, that's worth investing time in and money in software. How about this one? Customer retention. So if your software is so awesome and easy to use, you keep your customer longer, seems to me like it's worth investing in. How about now we got to think about our employees here, and a heads up. I mean, everybody here has thought about it. We certainly think about it at the dealership. Is look, I'm shorthanded everywhere, and by the way, I'm going to be shorthanded the rest of my life and probably our kids' lives. The reason being is birth rates are shrinking, right? Population is actually shrinking. And so we're always going to have labor shortages now. I have to think about how do I keep my employees? And so I want to think about their user experience. But that's going to go into things like efficiency in the software, right? Ease of use, that type of thing. And ultimately lead to whether or not we can retain those employees. And one of my goals for GE Automotive is to have software that's so cool to use that if a person leaves to sell at another car dealership or be a technician at another car dealership, they come back to us because our software is so awesome to use. It actually retains people because it's easy to use software. It makes their job easier. And all of a sudden, the idea of going to work for somebody else seems kind of foolish because their software sucks. So, and this one I hope catches you a little off guard. But I've dealt with this in my career about 4 times with kind of a poor success rate, to be honest with you. But I have dealt with situations where our investors, our partners, our investors, hey, whoever's funding us, right? They want to try a software or they want to invest in software, and we happen to be the playground that they're going to play in. And it not necessarily the most ideal thing for the business, but these are the folks that are spending money on us, and we have to honor that desire. And so sometimes we end up trialing things that may not be best for the business, but we are acting in the best interest of the company when we do this, if that makes sense. So it's something to think about. Not all of you have seen that in your career, but you're around long enough and you'll run into that.